It's
I did.
come back. We'll get you another. Oh, hey guys. Welcome to the Giant Love Chronicles. Apparently we're live, and hang tight. We'll be right with you. Another great show. A little disco beat for you. Welcome, Giants. We'll give you a few minutes to catch up with us and jump on. I don't think we have any housekeeping stuff because we don't offer anything.
We don't.
Not with this anyway. So we're just glad to have you here. Just remember, you can comment in the comments, and we like to bring those up. And today's topic is unlocking love's potential through communication. And so we are going to dive in fairly raw here. Mm-hmm. I think first thing is we are not experts or pretending to be experts on relationship. We might learn a few things as we go here, but we're not trying to pretend like we got it figured out. So
no, we're like all of you, where it's been like the school of hard knocks.
Yeah. Knock, knock.
Knock, knock.
So we're going to talk about communication. And I've got a cool definition that I think would serve to start. I've got some cool stats we can talk about. I've got different types of communication we can talk about.
I love your brain.
We can, well, me and AI. Me and AI. Maya.
M-I-A.
M-A-I.
AI.
M-I-A.
May-I.
I'll show you MIA.
May.
That's MIA. So me and AI, right? Stumble over my words, but so we'll go with the etymology of the word first, and then a modern definition, which is kind of cool.
Okay.
I think it's good. So it's Latin from communicare. That's my Latin tone. Comunicare.
It's like the language.
Comunicare, which means to share or to make common. And if you break it down any further, the com, C-O-M, is with or together or in association, and munus, meaning gift or duty. So its roots can be thought of as sharing a gift or coming together in duty. So if we bring this into a modern term, it would not only imply just the action of conveying information, but it would be a mutual exchange where information, feelings, or ideas are shared as a gift to one another. I think that's pretty cool.
That is cool.
Right? A little different.
Mm-hmm.
So this makes the act of communication a collaborative effort, a sharing of oneself, and a mutual duty to understand and to be understood.
Well, it's not communication if it's only one person.
Right. What is that?
Talking to yourself?
Mm-hmm. Schizophrenia?
I was like...
Not yeah. Could be.
Well, I'm saying just talking to deaf ears. Like you're not communicating. It's
to have something in common, right?
Mm-hmm.
So to have, if you're not communicating, there's nothing in common. So there's no understanding or anything, right?
You know what I loved this morning when we were talking? I think it was this morning. Time kind of blends.
Yeah.
But you were talking about things, and then after you got done, you said, "What are you getting from that?" I said, "Oh, well," and I kind of just summarized. He goes, "No, what you said, what are you getting? What's your, hear from that?" So then I responded with,
"Did you guys like that?
I am, what I'm hearing, how I received the message."
Yeah.
And I appreciated that because I wasn't really wanting to give it to you at first, and then I just did.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it was.
Yeah, we had a deep conversation this morning.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of crying going on over here.
It wasn't a ton of crying, was it?
Kind of. It's good though. Like we go into deep conversations, and
I'm
there's
like
the
an
value.
onion, and I just I can't remember how. Oh, I remember what it was. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have to share it. You can, but you don't have to.
But it was just, the good communication. Anyway, keep going.
Just that, communication is so important, especially in relationship. we're navigating each other, trying to figure each other out and how to work with each other. And there's been a lot of communication. We were talking a little bit about how much time we actually spend together, because it seems like, if in thought, it seems like a lot, but on paper, it's not a lot of time together, like physically together. Right.
Mhm.
So, but we have deep, deep conversations, and sometimes it's more than quantity, because we have quantity too, but not as much as you'd think. There's quality. So there's a lot of quality in our conversations.
Quality.
Right.
From day one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So deep, deep conversations. You want some stats? Do you like stats? Fun
Here are
fact.
the stats.
We need a song for that. We need a sound for it. I think we can create sounds here. How's this?
No.
This one?
How about into space? Ooh, that would be good. No, that's
Yeah, these are terrible.
Do this one. Do the dance pop.
Dance pop.
There you go. There's your
All right.
stat song.
There's our stat song. So misunderstandings. Over 70% of misunderstandings in communication occur due to tone of voice rather than the actual words spoken.
Like all caps.
Yeah, you just sent me a text message with all caps. I'm like, geez, why are you yelling
at me?
Right? Quality time. Couples who spend at least 10 minutes a day discussing deep topics rather than mundane day-to-day affairs are more likely to be happier in their relationships. That's a good one. Fact. Tech interference. According to a study, 25% of couples feel that their partner is distracted by their phone when they're together, affecting their communication quality. You guys experience that? It's number 2 on my list for a healthy relationship. Is that a number 2 on your healthy list for a relationship, or is it number 2, right? Like there could be 2 different things going on there.
My question is, what's number 1?
And a number 2 could be the thing that makes you happier because you get a little uptight, right? Avoiding conflict. Around 48% of people admit to occasionally avoiding conversations because they anticipate it leading to an argument.
Yeah.
Do we do that?
You know what?
Yeah, we should be talking about
I
this,
feel,
or could be.
Well, I feel like you're so intuitive. You read, what was that course you took?
Okay, I took a course on micro expressions.
Yeah. So I can't hide my face.
No, nobody can. So
Nobody
we all do, like things like anger, disgust, contempt. They show up on your face, and they're micro expressions, and they show up so fast that you might not even be aware of them. So when you get trained in it, you start to notice like these little micro expressions: happiness, joy, sadness, anger, anxiety, and disgust. Right?
I think mine was discussed yesterday, wasn't it?
Yeah, we'll talk about ways to communicate.
But it helps because I think, like, if something comes up and I get a look on my face or whatever, you'd be like, ask me about it, But I think overall, I feel
it's an RBF type.
I've worked on my RBF.
I got it too. I got an RBF face.
I use mine when I model.
Yeah.
Serious.
Like that. Like,
yeah. See, I've come to accept this face.
See it every day in the mirror. So yeah.
But I think what helps with, okay, so we're at the very beginning. So just laying that work. I mean, if you're already in a relationship and you find that you're avoiding conflict, I think you kind of almost have to do a little rewinding, and it's good first to just create a safe space, to have a safe environment.
Totally matters.
Because if you don't feel safe, and then you're going to avoid it. Okay, for example, just in your relationship with your kids. I mean, we know that kids learn fast. Adults learn fast. So, they come to you with a problem and you're like, Timmy, why'd you do that? And you get angry rather than going, you know what, thanks for coming and talking to me about this. Let's talk about this.
Because everybody should have a kid named Timmy.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And so they will remember, they won't remember all the times where you were like pretty chill with it.
Yeah.
They'll remember that one time that you weren't a safe place
Yeah.
for you to come. So how would you undo that? Because we've all done it to someone. We've all had a reaction that we went, oh, how do I pull that back? I mean, do you follow up with, hey,
okay, so
I wasn't proud of myself there. Thank you, or what?
Remember the Gottmans? The Gottmans said when you do a negative, you've got to offset it with 5 to 10 positives. Like the negatives are so impactful and so hurtful that now you've got to rebuild trust with that person. So you create a negative space for somebody and they're going to remember that more than the positive. So you have to continually like bid for trust, right? Like get it back, because it's easy to destroy it. It's hard to build it back. And so I think that's really
a good answer.
Was that good?
That's great.
It's political.
That's very good.
Yeah.
Super good. So I feel like though with us, what I've experienced, it's already a safe place. We haven't had a conversation where it hasn't felt safe to be able to express how either one of us feel.
Right.
Except for if it was on a Wednesday.
No, we even talked about that.
Yeah.
Right.
Kidding. Timing. But no, like
timing matters.
No, like I won't bring that up again. But no, like even that was safe, you know, because you felt safe. It wasn't like it was a bad thing. You're just talking about it as timing. But like I feel like we've worked on just being a safe place and being able to express how we feel with things.
Yeah.
Neither one of us has lashed out and said, oh my gosh, this is horrible. Like, you know, or whatever it is.
Right.
The reaction would be. So
yeah, there's been room to really talk about anything, just about everything. I mean, we've talked about all of it. Right.
Mm-hmm. We're done talking.
That's it. Nothing in common. It turns out we have nothing in common. Right. All right. No, nonverbal communication. 55. This goes back to that.
That goes back to your micro.
55% of our communication is through body language, 38% through tone of voice, and only 7% through words, emphasizing the importance of nonverbal cues. That's incredible. Yeah.
But people think communication is all like
words. You want to read one?
I'll read one. Active listening. Only 10% of what we communicate is retained by the listener in a typical conversation, highlighting the importance of active listening.
So what does that mean?
So it's good to test their person, make sure that they hear everything and say it doesn't mean that, but if we're only hearing 10%, what are we missing? A lot. So that is why it's good to get that feedback on, just to make sure when you are in a discussion, to make sure that person and how they interpret it. So it's good to find out, have them give you that feedback on what they're hearing. And then at that time, you could know if they're getting the message that you are conveying. And if they're not, you could do it again.
Right.
Because sometimes we just take that 10% and we run with it and we get ticked off, but we don't hear the 90%, which is
active means very conscious, right? Mm-hmm. Like you are present and like you said, checking in and making sure that they hear what you said.
Yeah.
Like I like the question, what did you hear? Or what are you hearing?
It. Yeah.
Or what do you get out of that? Or, you know, if I come to you and I say, hey, I'm having thoughts that this is going on. Am I even accurate?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Versus, hey, you are this and you're doing this and blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
Then you feel accused.
Yeah.
And then you get fighty. I've never done
you
that
automatically
to you,
come into the defensive.
Right?
Yeah.
Get angry. How about that one?
Appreciation. Over 65% of couples who reported being unhappy in their relationship cited not feeling appreciated as a primary reason. Ooh,
I like that word. There are two things here. There's appreciation and gratitude as two separate things. Mm-hmm. And appreciation is to increase the value of something. So it has a value, whatever the value, you know, at its core is. but to appreciate is to increase the value of it.
Mhm.
Does that make sense? So like
Yeah.
you do something and then I see it and then I appreciate it. So it comes across as this, and then to appreciate it is to make it a big deal.
And then guess what happens to that appreciation? The other person's going to be like, oh, I got warm fuzzies. They really appreciated what I did.
Right.
So the other person's going to be like, I'm going to continue doing it. It's that positive feedback, you know?
It's kind of like a job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pay me the money. I'll do more.
Exactly.
Well, you know, your boss says, hey, I love how you do this or that.
Yeah.
You're going to be like, yeah, my efforts aren't being ignored. I'm
Right.
going to like work harder. I'm going to do better. Hi, Lori.
Hi, Lori. So gratitude, the distinction between gratitude and appreciation is to increase the value. Gratitude is to acknowledge the good and the positive, right?
50% increase in relationship satisfaction. So I want everybody to go out, whether it be your kids, your spouse, boyfriend, girlfriend, mom, dad, whoever, and give them a little bit of gratitude and appreciation.
Good things, big things right there. You're
Yeah.
talking 65% of couples are happy or unhappy because they don't feel appreciated. And there's a 50% increase in relationship satisfaction when there's gratitude in their arguments. So on average, happy couples have 5 positive interactions for every negative during conflict, while those in unstable relationships often have a ratio of closer to 1 to 1. So man, that's a big one. So you have a
that's
fight.
Like being in a canoe with a hole in it, and you're like trying to You're just constantly.
Yeah, it takes two to tango here.
Yeah.
So
I don't know if that was a good analogy. How about digital divide? A survey found that 1 in 4 couples feel that digital devices interrupted their bedtime routines, affecting intimacy and quality time. That's why you pull out the digital devices after quality time. Just kidding. Right?
After, yeah.
Like a reward. Just kidding.
Or before.
It's like a cigarette.
Right? It's like, it is like a cigarette. That was my my ex-wife just called, and she doesn't call, so I got to text real quick.
Okay.
Is that okay? Yeah. So you want to keep going? And
yeah. Let's get me on something here.
Yep. Let's go back to just that, the device, you know, and here I am.
Devices.
Here I am on a show.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Well,
interrupting the flow, right?
It is a distraction, a definite distraction. Like, I mean, just day to day, like if we're focused on this, I mean, how many of us get that quality time with each other? Or even the TVs tend to take a lot of time, or gaming systems.
Yeah,
I mean, there's partners that are gaming all the time.
Right.
And I was actually talking to a friend today that said her ex would be gaming, and she would come home from work and just have a lot to say. And he's like, just let you know, like, if this helps you for me to be a sounding board, I'm not hearing a word you're saying, but if it's helping you, I'm just going to keep playing. Holy cow. Just go ahead and keep talking. And so what he was telling to her was, you're not important, but get it off your chest. I'm just here.
Holy cow. Yeah.
And that's how he just disregarded her.
So there's a thing that I hear in that, you know, attention, intention, attention, tending to, like these are all like words that deal with stretching, right? Attention, you have a limited amount of attention. Whatever you can give, you can give. And so if a device has your attention, that device has your attention, and the other person won't. And we think we can multitask, right? Multitask. I can't do it.
I can't do it either.
So if I'm in my device, then my attention's there, not over here. But there can also be the flip of that, where a partner might demand all of the attention. It's like, I want all of your attention. I don't want you on that. Sometimes we need these little distractions. That's not a healthy
balance,
right?
Either.
Yeah.
I mean, you do have to like do things in life and everything. So if somebody's requesting that you have to pay 100% attention to me, don't work, don't do anything, no kids.
Right.
I mean, obviously that's unrealistic.
It couldn't work very well.
No.
So that's what we've been balancing, is making sure that we communicate even, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when we're together, we're together. When we're not together, we're still together. I mean, not 24/7, but we do communicate quite a bit, and we have deep, deep conversations. I can't remember a conversation yet where we haven't appreciated each other or felt appreciation. We've had some disagreements, but then there's been a repair, right?
There has been repair. Yeah. It's almost like, I mean, we come to a disagreement, but to an understanding.
Yeah.
Where, we know he's going to do this, I'm going to do this, or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
But an understanding and giving each other space for that.
Right.
I mean, we're not doing anything horrible. Let's see.
You keep going with your thought.
Oh, I mean, it's nothing that is detrimental to our relationship. It's a difference.
Yeah.
And we've ended up seeing each other's point of view. We're not trying to change each other.
Yeah.
It's not damaging the relationship. So we end up just giving space to each other for whatever that is.
Yeah. I love that Lola just grabbed it up. Oh, Lola's the dog. So Lola just found her bone. So you might hear some cracking and crunching in the background. This is a very professional show.
Mm-hmm.
It's what we do. I love this. So let's pull this up. I don't know who this is. So if you can give acceptance to StreamYard to show your name, or just throw it in the comments, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
So communication has become such an important foundation for my wife and I. We both strive to really keep communication open.
I love that.
And many would agree that it's not always easy, and I'll be the first to agree with that. Right. There's sometimes it's really challenging. I vow myself to always keep that foundation strong, and so does my wife. Doesn't it feel like when you think of the intention to create that, so you're going to stretch toward creating that, and then the attention that it needs for that to occur, it's a very conscious thing.
Can I ask
right?
you a question?
Thanks.
Facebook user, did you give us your name?
Jimbo.
Hey, Jimbo.
My cigar guy, my dealer.
Hi, dealer. Hey, Jimbo, I got a question for you. So how long have you been married? And did it come off beginning, or what was has it been a practice from the get-go, or has it been a practice after you realize, okay, we're avoiding a lot of things here? Dogs are always welcome.
That's awesome.
So yeah,
Thank
that's
you.
my question for you. Feel free to share if you'd like.
Yeah, in the comments, that would be good to hear.
Yeah.
Have you always been that way, right?
Yeah.
But if you're on your own, communication is still a big deal everywhere. Communication is in work, it's in kids, it's in relationships, it's in other people, strangers, it's everywhere.
Everywhere.
It's my finger flying out the window down I-15. That's all communication. I have nothing in common.
That is actually read better than words.
Yeah. Sometimes.
No, it is.
Yeah.
What was it? 65%?
That's right. That's
65,
a verbal,
that's
a nonverbal.
nonverbal. Yeah. My face.
We should
We'll
do
say
the
it all.
whole
I don't need
show
to
in
say
sign
anything.
language here.
Ooh, that would be funny.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. We don't need words. All right.
No.
Let's talk about types of communication. Should we do that?
Yeah.
So let's get back over here. So verbal communication, using words to convey a message. So we found out that's not the most effective.
Nope.
7% of your words factor into
So
communication.
it's probably good to talk Facebook or FaceTime.
Yeah. Right. FaceTime.
So you could read the person's facial expressions.
Actually, yes. Because you can see a lot when we do Zoom videos and have coaching calls.
Uh-huh.
I watch people's faces the whole time. I'm like,
That's great.
So I notice this. And sometimes they're saying things they don't even know they're saying. They're so unconscious to it that they say it. And I'm like, did you notice you just said that? Did you see this? I saw this on your face. Tell me what's going on there. But it helps me to be actively listening. So paying attention to their facial expressions helps me to tune into the conversation to make sure that I'm hearing them properly. And then I still check in. It's like, I can hear what you're hearing, but I might not be interpreting it the way you're transmitting it. Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I love that.
Love that.
I love that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jimbo says, I've been married for a little over a year and it has been a lot of practice and a lot of fine tuning. And it's always something that has been there. But again, there are times when it's not so that. It's when the fine tuning comes into the picture. So we always try our hardest and best to strive for always communicating together. Thank you.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Yeah, my husband is in a relationship with his phone. He literally is on it every second that he's not working. If he put it down when I talk to him, that would be most helpful. Yeah, it takes two.
It does take two.
The definition, going back to that, of, the act of conveying information, not just that, but a mutual exchange where information, feelings, or ideas are shared as a gift to one another. Right?
Yeah. Lori, we could plan an accidental drop into the toilet. Or I'm kind of curious, and you don't have to answer this, but have you talked to him about it?
Yeah, she is driving me nuts.
Lola is?
Yes.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. She is
She's
really
in
digging
heaven.
into that bone.
She's in heaven. She's cleaning her teeth.
She's happy.
Yeah.
She's happy.
Honey, I'm glad you were able to communicate that.
It's a gift. That's a gift.
I've learned to, I'm a mom.
Yeah.
I could block that stuff out.
Right? And I'm just like, I hear it all. Like, there's a fly buzzing over here. I see that. I think I might have ADD, guys, like ADHD. Mm-hmm. All right. So let's bounce back. Squirrel back. You ready? More? No, I've got it. I've got it right here.
No, I thought.
The visual communication, using visual aids such as graphs, charts, images, or to communicate.
Oh my gosh!
What was that movie?
Retreat. Was it
They did like the PowerPoint of, guys, this is what we're thinking.
What was it? It was something retreat. That movie.
The dog is doing chew the bone communication.
She's trying to get our attention.
She is so focused.
She is
so focused.
And it's funny. It's like it was in a container and she went for it.
Yeah.
But what is that called?
Couples
retreat.
Yeah.
And the one couple comes out with the diagrams, the whole PowerPoint and everything.
Right.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
They're like, we've planned it out, and we're, after all of this, thinking of getting a divorce, and they have a full PowerPoint of why, and
it was awesome.
Trying to save their marriage. A lot of it,
That's funny.
A lot of it does come down to communication, though. I mean, if you can't communicate with your partner, it's hard to move forward. I remember an experience. I was a missionary years ago, and I had a companion that got mad at me. I did something that caused him to be mad at me, but he straight up blocked me out while I was with this person 24/7. So wouldn't talk to me, wouldn't look at me, wouldn't acknowledge me, nothing. It was maddening, like so crazy making, because I was sitting there feeling, like we're stuck together. There's no separating this. And I'm stuck there with a person that won't say a word to me. It was maddening. And so it can really drive us into a space of not feeling secure in our lives. It could drive us to feel a loss of confidence. Makes you angry when even you're not an angry person. It's like, holy cow! Like I could stab this person right now. I'm not condoning stabbing people. Don't do that. But
I grabbed my knitting needles and crocheted for months, being ignored, and watching Pod Coldcast. Cold
podcast.
Pod
Coldcast.
Which is the podcast.
Yeah.
Cold. So while being ignored,
yeah,
I'm glad I didn't stab anyone with the needle.
That's probably good.
That would have been. That's really good. I didn't do it.
Yeah.
So take up a hobby.
Take up a hobby, but do self-care. If you're not getting that self-care or that care from what you need from your partner, then it's really important that you find some way to take care of yourself in that, because
that's hard.
Yeah,
it's hard if you're not in a safe relationship and you can't communicate,
right? And
then you get punished when you do try to communicate,
right?
Yeah. I wish I could take that away from everybody.
Yeah, that's a hard one.
That's a hard one.
Yeah. Written communication is a form of communication. Should we go through a few of those? And visual, active listening, we talked about that. What's passive?
Being like passive aggressive.
It looks like it. Yeah.
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 Yeah. A lot of people don't do too well with passive aggressive. You might as well just own what you want to say.
And
People
assert
appreciate
right?
it. Yeah. Just be assertive and say, this is what I'm thinking.
Yeah. It's hard
Go
though.
with it.
Like
I think
truthfully,
it's hard to ask for things. You have a hard time asking for
oh
things.
man, do I have a hard time asking for things. Like to assert.
Yeah.
Okay, the word to assert is to speak your truth. That's it. It's not aggressive, it's not passive. But we have this tendency to go passive aggressive. So we're being aggressive in a passive way, or we just go straight aggressive, right? And assertion is not that. It's just communicating what your needs are and what's going on as your truth.
And that is a hard thing. It is a practice.
Yeah. It's hard.
But then it goes again to back to when you are being assertive and you're saying what you need for you to be able to feel safe. And when we are saying that, because if it gets thrown into your face,
right,
it's a hard thing. And then again, you're back to square one on being nervous about saying anything. So I think that's when the passive aggressiveness comes out, because you're like, well, maybe if I just let it slip out there, it's not going to be as harsh. I guess if it works.
We know people, it does work. It's a way of getting what you want, but people don't like you very much afterward, right? So it's like part of this is learning to work with other people. We are wired for social connection, and social connection is super important. Without it, we die off. And yet we've got to navigate how to communicate with others so that we can keep that social connection, and then also determine which ones we want to keep that with. Sometimes you want to be aggressive with people. There's in psychology, there's a strategy called tit for tat, which is whatever somebody does, then you do that back exactly as they do it, as a strategy, right? Yeah, you match their move for your move.
You don't get anywhere with that.
But there have been times where that actually in sales has been useful.
Has it?
In negotiating, but never useful in a relationship. Like, you're going to do something to me, it feels like it would just snowball.
My counselor would say, like, when you give a gift, when you do a favor, it should never be tit for tat.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean, that's also, it's like when you're doing something for somebody, you shouldn't do it with the intent to get something back.
Yeah.
Or throw it in their face.
I got to show you guys. She is so like relaxed. That's Lola for you guys.
Lola.
Lola's awesome. And she's in her own world. She's way better with chewing on that bone than I am. So, but okay. So these three things work together: assertiveness, passivity, and aggressiveness. They all kind of work. They're all in the same
You're
realm.
an ass. Assertive.
You're an ass. Assertive.
Okay.
Nice.
Wait,
Joining live.
Sorry, Lori.
Oh, there we go. Yeah. Yeah. It's individual, like the individual has to choose in, right?
That's tough.
So joining from Bish's RV. Welcome, Ron Morris.
Hey, be aggressive, be aggressive. Is that your sales tactic?
Be aggressive, be aggressive. I see him walking in the room. Be aggressive, right? And like we always say with Bish's RV, what's up, Bish's?
¿Cómo están, biches?
¿Cómo están, biches? Yeah, one of the worst things is being in a room with a partner and all you feel is loneliness. That sucks.
What to do when you're in that situation? I think self-care.
A lot of self-care. Well, you
gotta go inside, because nothing else is gonna. You gotta do your own thing and just kind of block it out. It's horrible.
Yeah, it is self-care. It's taking care of you, and hopefully your relationship doesn't get there, but it does. It gets there for a lot of people.
A lot of people have been there,
right? Mm-hmm. I had other people I could talk to, like you have your friends.
I did a lot of talk therapy.
Yeah.
A lot of talk therapy and crocheting. But yeah, I mean, talk therapy.
Yeah.
But you got to, like, if the situation doesn't change, I mean, It is a lot of self-care. Just
Therapy
kind of finding a
or
happy place to
friends
be,
or
to escape that a little.
yeah.
Instead of being just sit there and be subjected to the misery.
Yeah, it's I
That's
mean,
what I
if there's a
thought.
way to heal it, heal it. And if there's not, then you really, it's not up to us to tell you what to do with that relationship. But
Pillow.
I would never do that.
Whoa!
Don't ever pillow your partner. No. Yeah, let's see. Steve says relationships are the toughest gig on the planet and have the possibility. Are you? Of being the most rewarding. Yeah, really. And it's very, Steve, it's very conscious, right? Like Ryan, you said, hi, Steve. And I thought of a joke. There's a grasshopper and he walks into a bar and the bartender says, hey, we got a drink named after you. And the grasshopper says, you got a drink named Steve? I'll take that laugh and put it here. We're the friends you talked to in healthy relationships or struggling like you, or were the friends? Yeah, that's a good question.
Mine weren't. That's the thing. It's like they weren't. None of them were in that situation. And maybe it would have helped. Maybe it wouldn't have. I mean, everyone gave their counsel, but they weren't. And I got to the point where I realized I couldn't continue to stop complaining. I couldn't continue complaining until I was, ready to do something about it. Because I thought I sound like a broken record. This is constantly happening. Mm-hmm. And so until I got the guts to stand up and do something on my own, I figured if I'm not going to do something about it, I got to do something about it. I can't complain.
Right.
Yeah. So it was helpful. It was helpful as a good sounding board. They did tell me I wasn't crazy. Like I wasn't crazy. It made them crazy. And then when they got involved with someone, they got crazy.
And then we get to be there for each other.
Validated.
Yeah.
But yeah, they weren't in that situation.
They're, because it could easily be that you don't look for the truth, you look for agreement. Like you find people that agree with you.
And they're like, yeah, pitchfork.
Right.
Pillow.
Like, stab them. And
needle.
Man, there's a lot of stab. I'm nervous for my life.
You brought it up.
Blink twice if you're in danger. Is that the sign? Like, yeah, that's an international. Yeah. So, and the beauty of where we're at, yeah, we're fresh. This is a fresh relationship. We've been together 3 months now, and very conscious, constantly conscious.
You guys are funny.
This is entertainment here. Did you hear about the Irish guy who walked out of yeah, it could happen. It could happen, right? And the horse that walked into the bar, and bartender says, why such a long face? Right? And the other guy that walked into a bar, and he's like, I did not see that. Right? These are funny jokes. They're dry. Yeah.
That one I didn't quite get.
A friend will call you out instead of coddling you. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And a real friend will also kind of troubleshoot it with you and really make sure that you're really seeing it, right?
Yeah, I will do that. I'll be like, am I just nuts?
Yeah.
Tell me, this is the scenario.
Yeah.
Am I crazy?
Am I crazy? Is that wrong?
If I ask my daughters, they tell me 100% the truth.
Yeah. I know. Yeah. What you're talking about. It's yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's the best thing that could happen is to not have that relationship. The best thing that could happen could be the relationship. It is a very conscious thing.
It can help you see both sides.
A real friend will cuddle you out instead of coddling you or cuddling you. Right? Or both. What is that? Peanuts?
Are those peanuts?
Nuts. Couldn't see what that was.
You're
it
nuts,
looked
Ryan.
A little it looked like nuts.
Your kids will tell you the truth. Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's nice,
And
but not so nice.
our hope is that, you know,
It's hard.
in our relationship or your relationship, that you could create a space where you can talk things through. And if you can heal your marriage, heal your marriage. If you can't heal your marriage, then, you know, start exploring what's best for you guys. You know, it's not up to anybody else.
No, you
Right.
can only do what's best for you. I mean, people will say, oh, leave them, don't leave them, whatever,
Right.
you know, and you're the one that has to live your life. So you got to make that decision.
Yeah.
How you feel.
So when you and I talk, because we get time together, but I have kids, I'm raising kids, I'm working.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And you've got Lola and her bone chewing. And yeah.
Saving on dental bills right now.
Yeah. Saving on dental bills.
Mm-hmm.
But when we communicate, we really dive deep in a lot of stuff.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I think from the get-go, that's one thing that was so unique about you. And I just love that you were open for communication. Like we just talked and talked and talked and talked. And it was like so beautiful.
Right. Lick my brain. And that first date at the park cafe, right? That was funny.
That was funny.
Like we were communicating, like we
really opening up.
She opened up, starts crying, and that dude walks up and he's like, "Excuse me, ma'am, are you okay?" I'm like, "Oh shit, I'm gonna get in a fight, and I don't even know why." Right?
We thought about going back and reenacting that.
Yeah.
See how we do, and if anyone else.
Oh, we'd have a plan for sure.
Yeah.
In fact,
I know what I'm gonna say.
We have a TikTok channel called Schmitty Sticks.
Yeah.
Schmitten Sticks.
Schmitten Sticks.
And we grabbed some lunch today, and you know, I wish I could pull it up here.
Yeah. But, you'll have to go follow us.
Yeah, go to Schmitten Sticks.
Is it S?
No C in it though. Schmitten. We'll put that here for you guys. Schmittish.
Schmitten. And then it's
STIXX.
Does that right?
Now I have a lisp.
Now I kind of.
So today we grabbed lunch and
sorry people.
Andi was just an absolute lady with her noodles.
It's SHMITTEN SHTIXX. Okay, yeah. Go follow us.
All right, so that's what it is on TikTok.
Made him love me more.
It's awesome.
Just kidding.
Schmitten Sticks.
Don't ask us how we came up with that one.
Schmitten.
We're schmitten with each other.
And I don't know where the sticks came from.
It's my shtick figure.
Sticks. We lost all our viewers for that. Yeah.
No.
Come back.
They're off on TikTok right now. They can't multitask.
Right. They're like, holy crap.
They're like, we've got to see this.
They did. They legit left here to go to. We won't do that again.
Sorry, guys.
Schmitten Sticks.
Squirrel.
So communication, you know, just the idea of it for the show is that it's part of a relationship. It's part of any relationship. It's part of work. It's part of raising kids. It's part of partnership in anything, right?
And
so vital.
I think it's just to just create a safe space. Listen before you react.
Yeah, let's talk about the 4 agreements.
Yeah.
Should we?
Yeah.
Because that ties into it.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have that? Do you want to?
Yes, baby.
Yes, baby. Let me see if there's any other ways to communicate here. Just a lone buffalo in the field.
I want to take that micro.
It's cool.
Class that you took.
Yeah, and Hugh, like you're still communicating. You're in the tribe of giants. All right, so here's another one. Emotional communication, which is conveying feelings, moods, and reactions without words necessarily. And then transactional communication is a back and forth type communication. And that we have a lot of back and forth, but it doesn't feel transactional. Like I'm going to do this, Cha-ching. So you do that, right? Cha-ching. She responded. I'm so lucky.
But there is. It's not like you're just 90% of the conversation. I'm like
donations. I'm like,
yeah, no
donation, no cha-ching.
No
like
cha-ching. It's
just here.
It's very transactional.
Have a thought for the day.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Here's a moon. The real moon, not my moon. Although, when you get in a relationship, you might send that too, right?
But
In a restaurant downtown Vancouver. So unfortunately can't hear you two beautiful beings over the music. But sure happy to see your smiles and watch your joyful. Thank you.
Who
Yeah,
is
that's
this?
awesome. Vancouver, is that in Canada?
Vancouver. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's talk about the 4 agreements real quick. So,
all right. Okay. How many of you have made assumptions? It's a big one, right?
Yeah.
Makes an ass out of you and me. When are you going to bring Andi down and show her your prison cell?
So context matters. So when I met Hugh, I went down to Yuma and met up with Hugh, and he handed me a can. First thing he does, hands me a can of pea soup, because one of our statements is no more pea soup from the book, The Giants and the Small. So he hands me a can of pea soup. So I start laughing. And we met at the old Yuma prison. And so I took a tour of the prison. It's kind of cool. It's old.
You got your old cell there?
Yeah, I guess I have an old cell there. Me and Hugh were cellies for a minute. So now reading your words. Yeah. All right, back to it.
Back to assuming. Well, should we start with that?
Yeah, assuming.
A lot of times I think people just, okay. One thing I remember is like, you know the person. Isn't it interesting? Like, it would be weird for me. We all do it. But you know the person. You know that they wouldn't do a certain something, right?
Yeah.
So for you to go off and assume the worst, like, it's always best to not assume the worst. Right?
Yeah.
But don't come in with this this
give
story.
Give an example. And I can find an example too in past relationships.
Oh gosh.
Right?
Yeah. Oh, I'm really
okay. So here's
use yours. Yeah,
so
go ahead.
So the assumption that your partner is like your past relationships.
Oh, that's a good one.
So you put what you think is going on them, even though it's a new partner, new situation, you've never been here before, but you bring your old fears, insecurities, worries into the relationship and start assuming that's going on when that person has never done anything like that to you, right?
Yeah.
So there's no reason to not trust, yet you're bringing distrust into the relationship. And the communication could be accusation, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Accusation. Or like you say, you don't answer somebody's phone call.
Yeah.
Like for that person, it's really the person that gets upset, assuming he's ignoring me, this and that and that. But if you're like feeling secure in that relationship, you're not going to create this story in your head that they're ignoring you, knowing if you know and you're secure, that person must be busy. You're not thinking that they're ignoring you intentionally.
If you feel that insecurity, to not put it over there.
Not put it over there, but that's putting it over there.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
So you're making assumptions, and that person could be totally, their phone could have been down the toilet, you know?
Right.
They could be.
Hun, where's your phone?
They could be painting their nails.
I have no idea.
You know, instead of assuming that we upset them. Yeah.
How was that first sound? Dude, we just gained all these followers. Hey guys, welcome to the show. You're gonna have to go all the way back and watch all this.
Yeah.
All right, back to the 4 agreements, right? So the assumptions, right?
We just dropped 2.
Just like that.
I'm gonna assume that we offended somebody. Just kidding.
It's a way of seeing it. Sure.
Oh my gosh, they keep dropping. Oh, guys, that's not even funny. Stop it.
I'm gonna assume it's because Andi's talking right now.
Oh my gosh.
Holy cow, you just lost them all, huh? That's a terrible assumption. Sit. All right. So be impeccable with your word is another. Is that right?
Yes.
Be impeccable with your word.
Oh gosh, yes. Because if you keep making empty promises, that person's not going to believe you anymore. Why is never going to happen?
Yeah.
No.
Wait, what did you say?
To Hawaii.
Hawaii?
Hawaii. I was always like, oh, I was gonna take you to Hawaii, but not anymore.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't say that.
No,
though.
you never did.
I didn't say that.
No, but just yeah.
But be impeccable with your word also means when you're not impeccable with your word, and that's such a weird statement, impeccable. I think
honor your word. Like if you say you're going to do something.
Yeah. If somebody was going to pick at it, they wouldn't find anything to pick at.
Yeah.
Or if you can't be, clean it up.
Clean it up.
Right.
Because we all have to-do lists, right? Do we get on it immediately? No. But as long as you're aware and it's going to happen, what's a good time frame, hon?
Sooner than later. Right?
Yeah.
Well, but communicating time frame too would be important. It'd be part of the communication.
Yeah.
And I definitely want to go back to that definition, at the end of this, because it's such a powerful definition. It's a gift between each other.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so being able to share, like, this is what I would like to see, come to agreements. Right.
Yeah.
And be clear on it. I heard that the integrity is simply the delta or the difference. I think it was Townsend Wardlaw that taught this, that it's the difference between what you say and what shows up in the world. So it's between what you say you'll do and what shows up. The gap in between there is integrity. And so if you're constantly saying, I'm going to do this, but you do this, you have zero integrity with your word, right?
Yeah.
So the more you can practice getting integrity with your word is, I say this and this shows up, that's 100% integrity.
Yeah.
And if you say, I'll do this and this shows up or nothing shows up, then you have a chance to reevaluate, re-agree.
Don't make empty promises.
Or if you
just don't do it or clean it up.
Yeah. Clean it up.
Yeah.
Clean it up.
Yeah.
Lola's now drunk off bone.
She is out.
She's gone.
Like that made her tired.
So don't take anything personally.
Eesh. Yes, it's not always about you.
Yes.
Yes.
It's not always about you.
No, it isn't.
Yeah.
But what would that people that take things personal? I think it's something they're holding on.
Usually, right? It's our own insecurities getting in the way.
Insecurity. You think it's about you when it's not, or
right.
I think the healthy thing is to be lighthearted about things.
There are some things. Yeah, there's some things that. Yeah. When somebody's constantly jabbing at you, that's hard to take lightheartedly. But you are your own being, right? But people can have an effect.
You can't take that personal if they're. You can take it personal. You can take it personal if they're jabbing at you.
Right.
Yeah. Next thing's that needle.
Sharp things again.
Sharp things.
Making me nervous.
But yeah, I think you could take it personal.
Yeah.
But if you're joking about something, come on, don't sweat the small stuff.
Right.
There's a difference.
There is an ability to handle some, certain level of
joking.
Things. Right.
But if
and you can become overly sensitive to things, right? So it is there's a balancing of it for sure.
Yeah.
I like that last one. Always do your best.
Yes.
Your best is your best.
Yeah. And only if you're giving your best.
Yeah.
You're showing up.
Make it authentic instead of generic.
Mm-hmm.
There's the fifth agreement too, and we talked about this, and I looked into it a little bit more today.
Yeah, it was kind of an interesting.
Be a skeptic and learn to listen.
Yeah,
is the fifth agreement. So here's what I heard on it. The summary of it was, to be a skeptic is people are speaking their truth.
Okay.
Whatever that truth is. So somebody tells you you're a terrible person, and okay, maybe I'm not a terrible person. So to be a skeptic would be to say, okay, let's look at all the evidence here. Is that really true? Not to maybe put that over on them and be like, okay, that's not true because you're a dumbass or whatever, right? It would just simply
What do you know?
What do you know? But you don't have to believe everything people say, because they're speaking their truth, but their truth might not be your truth. It might not be the global truth.
Could be their assumptions.
Yeah, it could be their assumptions. And so somebody might tell you something and you could believe them. And what they're teaching in the fifth agreement is be skeptical. about what people share. And then learn to listen.
Learn to listen.
What are they really trying to say? Or what's really going on? Or what's really at play here, right? Is learning to listen really is a huge part of communication. And learning to listen is putting on pause what you want to say next, because most of us are prepared to say what we want to say next.
It's like we got it all in our head and it's going to come out and they're not even done giving their message because you already come back firing guns and everything.
Yeah.
Or needles.
Or pillows.
Or pillows.
Yeah. I was just thinking that you two are lighthearted and funny. Humor is so important. It is. I think humor, Lori, is an indication of security. Yeah, I don't laugh when I'm not feeling secure with somebody.
Well, yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, you're in danger.
Yeah, you're not laughing.
You're not laughing.
Like they'll tell a funny joke. It's not funny. I don't feel secure.
I'm not. No,
right?
My life is not a joke.
Yeah.
Just kidding. Depends on the joke.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
My life is not a joke. Sometimes my life is a joke. Our relationship's been awesome.
I thought you were going to say the joke. I'm like,
not a joke. I told you we'd be raw. Like our relationship's a joke.
That's funny.
There are a lot of jokes.
Yeah.
We do have fun. Humor is definitely a part of that communication, joking around, sharing, funny TikToks.
You know what? I think, what did you say to me the other morning? You're like, I really like your weird. Your weird matches my weird or something like that.
It's true.
And then I broke the news to him and told him we're siblings.
No, that didn't land too well. No.
That was a joke.
I didn't laugh. I'm like, ew.
Ew, that's gross.
Ew. Then I thought of Joe Dirt. If you guys haven't seen Joe Dirt, you'll get the reference, but you're my sister. Don't go watch it, but it is funny. Oh, guys, we're coming up on time here. Hugh says I don't have to defend my truth or deny an untruth. Yeah. I mean, we really are the ones that are determining our experience. And so when it comes to communication, it's learning how to convey that with another person, finding somebody that can hold space for that. It's finding somebody that will take the time to actively listen to what you're sharing. And when needed, like challenge it when it's not accurate or help clarify it.
Yeah.
And we've had times where I've checked in and said, I'm noticing this. Is that what's going on? Mm-hmm. And you've clarified.
And blinked twice.
Blinks twice. And we're good. We clean it up.
No, we clean it up though.
Yeah.
So if you were to give 3, because everybody's in a different place in their relationships.
Yeah.
If you were to give 3 words of advice to either the relationships where the communication just sucks.
Ooh.
Yeah, this is kind of
advice.
I
don't know.
Or if it's good, or it's starting anew, or trying to reinvigorate an old relationship.
I wouldn't tell anybody what to do.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's safe.
That's super safe. But I'd tell you what I would do.
Yeah.
Right? 3 things I would do in those scenarios. And I don't remember all the questions. No, but I'll say number 1 is self-care. Make sure that I'm taken care of first, right? Mm-hmm. That when I'm good here, I tend to be good out here. So number 1 is for me to take care of me, right? That'd be the first thing that I would do. Yeah. Number 2 is I would practice asserting what I need. And practicing assertion versus aggression or passivity, right? Mm-hmm. Not passivity.
Or assertive.
Being assertive. Number 3 is get support, outside help.
I love that.
I would get some help.
Those are great.
Yeah. How about you?
For me, I really do love the self-care, because if you're allowing those external things to really impact your life, you're just going to crumble. If the only control you have in this situation, like, I love what you said. It's like, one is yourself and how you're going to respond and how you're going to treat yourself. You may be not be treated well. So how are you going to treat yourself to become a better person, to be able to assert yourself? If you don't get asserted, yeah, I like that. Like to be able to communicate with somebody.
I feel like you just
I love that. I think I just stole your 3. I thought
you just took my 3.
Mic drop.
Like
that was great. And chocolate.
Chocolate. And chocolate.
Actually, no. What's the good thing?
Dancing.
Yes, go dancing.
Oh yeah, Graham Central
Station.
That handles
ice cream.
Not mine, but that's yours. But
go dancing. Good. Get out of yourself. Go socialize. Find some good friends and go do something you love to do. That's self-love.
Yeah. It's okay to take care of you.
It's okay.
It has to be.
Yeah.
And when you take care of you, you can often take care of your relationships.
Yeah.
And here's a couple.
Put on your
few more minutes.
Yeah.
Should we?
Yeah. Put on your oxygen
mask.
Mm-hmm.
And we have this tendency to build people out in our minds. You know, I had a great conversation with Amanda Monk about this, how we create holograms of people. And then there's the person as a reality, and there's our version of that person, our thought of that person. And as Steve Hardison says, you know, like you can only be as close to the person as your thoughts of that person. And so communication allows us to step out of our hologram of that person and really get back to the reality of that person. Because we can really project a lot of crap on people that we think is going on.
With a hologram.
You can't.
No.
And so the communication has to come back to the other person. So we want to bring it back. Like when we get out of touch with somebody, we want to get back in touch with them.
Yeah.
We have a lot of friends, you know.
Hug them. Just hug them until like they break.
And squeeze them. Take a pillow. But it's true, because you could have relationships fall apart that didn't need to fall apart because you grew distant, and then you started creating a hologram about what you thought was going on. And so to bring it back to the reality of that person is really important, because we have a lens or a way of seeing the other person, and our lens might not be accurate. It might not be accurate. So it's important to
also with the communication, because that person could be going through their own thing and be doing the same thing to you.
For sure.
You know, they see you or how they're feeling, and they could be hurt. So that's just communication again.
Yeah.
You're both sitting there talking to a hologram. Neither one of you know what's underlining, what's creating this within you to be doing this or that.
Can I share a little more?
Yeah.
I won't give all the details.
All right.
But I met with Ryan Morris last night, business partner. We talked about some things, and I was sharing some things with you.
Yeah.
And you started to see yourself inside of the relationship. Yeah. And you started seeing a non-measuring up to my ideals of a relationship, right?
Yeah.
And so there were some insecurities that came up, and we got to talk it through, right?
Yeah.
And so like sometimes somebody will be sharing something, you see yourself in it. You create your own insecurities.
Well, would you feel that way? Or, you know, do I do this? Or you kind of see different things, like you plug yourself in.
And I love, you know, I've worked with Ryan Morris for years, 4 years now. He's been a great human being, you know,
like a brother.
Great to work with. There's Lola, guys. She came in and nuzzled on the nose here. So really just make sure that your hologram or your thoughts of that person or your ideals of that person aren't getting in the way of a real connection with that person. So communicate. Yeah. Hi. Okay, guys, I think that's it for our show.
Yeah, Lola's telling us
she's
nuzzling in here.
Nuzzling in.
It's like a little child.
So
look at this.
Hey.
Hey, baby. Are you getting camera shy?
She's getting camera shy.
Hey, baby.
So next week, we have no idea what we're going to talk about each week. Just whatever comes up. This week it was communication, because we had a lot of it. And so if you have some thoughts or things you want to know about or you want us to talk about, put them in the comments. Let us know what you'd like us to share. We're even open to having guests on. So if there are people that you would like to hear from, and man, really get us vulnerable, because we might get coached by them.
Therapy session, practically.
Holy cow.
Put us in the hot seat.
Well, that's it for this show. No, but think about it. Cheers to you as well. Thanks for being on here. Go to Schmidt and Stitch on
and that's
TikTok.
a T.
That's a T.com.
Follow us.
Yeah. And so thank you guys for being on with us. Do your best, right? Do your best.
Big hugs.
Big hugs.
Huge hugs. Anaconda squeeze.
And thank you for being on with us. You guys make it a giant evening. We'll see you
We'll see you
next week.
Yes.
All right. Yes. Take care.